Welcome back. Let's play some 10-minute games here on Shogi Wars. Good luck. Without pawns in hand, the game is lost. Is this true? I think without attacking, you cannot win. And without pawns, it is quite difficult to start an attack. But I don't know that this proverb can be taken at face value. I'm not sure about that. So one thing I'm gradually starting to appreciate better is the value of having the rook opposing the other rook. That the rook on the same file is a fighting piece, not just an idle spectator. It can effectively fight back. This is something I've discounted or just not wanted to try to think about because it seems a bit complex. But it's not that hard to reason about. That said, I'm still under attack here, and I'm jinxing things, so prepare to witness my demise, I suppose. But you'd think that I would be able to counterattack here somehow, right? I would think so. This can't be completely one-sided here. Shogi's never been so simple. If I push the pawn, at least for one turn, I'm in trouble. Let's try this. So I can, at a bare minimum, attack the center pawn at some point. Hmm. Ah, my knight's not defended by anything other than this silver. That's the issue here. Interesting. I have to temper my expectations a bit. Initially, I was thinking this would be wonderful. This looks okay. Yeah, stuff hangs if I'm not careful. Wait, what's... There's a lot of tactics here. Surely I've missed something. However, this pawn is loose. Ah, they promote the lance. And they're able to push the pawn. That's what's going on.
7分
They do, in fact, have time to do that. Um, hmm. I don't know. I think the fact that I've built a castle should count for quite a bit here. This should favor me. Um, hmm. All right, let's go for the gold. And by that, I guess I'm literally referring to the gold generals here. Um, okay. This looks like a pretty severe attack. It's also quite heavy, but I don't think it's overly heavy. Hmm.
5分
Let's just keep attacking. So I've given some material. I'm gonna give more material soon. But in the... Oh, wait a minute. No, they haven't... Are we genuinely fighting over this file? Or have I lost it already? I'm not sure. I don't know if that's a contest or not. Oh. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of stuff happening here in just a second. I could dodge the fork. I'm not sure that I can dodge things forever. But if I don't dodge, I'm just making more problems for myself. Okay. This is going to be kind of wild, but we'll ride it out. Wait, now if I move the rook there, there's going to be a bishop fork. Alright, so we're going to ignore piece values for a second. Oh, I can't pawn drop where I thought I could. That's going to change things a lot. Alright, here's a file. I was initially thinking moving to the edge file, but this seems to make inroads into the opponent's position. Or if they drop a lance, then I sidestep and they can't stop me here.
分
Hmm. I don't understand. I have ideas, but it's a bit challenging.
2分30秒
Alright, we don't need this rook. We can collect it later if we do need it, but right now we don't need it. It's going to take 3 turns for this pawn to move up here, and then another turn for it to promote, and another turn for it to make any more progress. In that time, I can make threats. Hmm.
2分。
There be tactics here.
1分30
I
秒。
think this is okay. Oh, I just let this... Okay, whatever.
1分。
Yep. We do need time to execute moves, but the moves themselves are also pretty important. An early Escape of the King's worth 8 moves, which is worth some number of seconds. I couldn't tell you the exact number, but it's a number. Did I just throw the game? Perhaps. Oh, well. That's interesting.
30秒。 20秒。
That was a curious endgame for many reasons.
10秒。
Yeah, I don't understand what happened. Thanks for the game. 1 down, 2 to go. What was today's proverb? I've forgotten it already. Something about... Oh, without a pawn, you cannot win. Good luck. Without a pawn in hand. And I was remarking that, well, the proverb probably has a closer meaning to you just can't attack without a pawn in hand. And without an attack, there is no chance of victory. These are things we know. I'm afraid of what this might mean. Yep, I was afraid of that. Alright, fine. We'll play this way. I don't know how to beat this damn... Oh, well, that's another tempo. We'll take every tempo we can get here. Take every tempo we can get. Zentsu. Let's fly like the wind. Alright, how does this work? Woo! So, yeah, I'm not intending to stick with Torizashi. Thanks for the game. Or Urashino is my main opening. I'm still working my way through Seigo Sato's book. It's a lucky day. Good luck. We'll take what we can get. We've maybe intimidated our third opponent. I don't know. Maybe they're just taking a minute to get ready. Wait, how do I play this again? Yeah, Seigo Sato's book, I've made back through chapter 1, reminding me of the fundamental ideas of fourth file Rook strategy. And then chapter 2 has to do with diagonal advancing silver and how to combat that, or at least make sure you don't lose to it. Not losing is important. What? Nani? Okay. I feel like I've missed something here. Normally, I don't get this in for... normally, the opponent moves up the bishop, so I can't do this. But normally I would open the diagonal too, and this would just never be something to consider. Mm-hmm. I have to put the king here for this? Yeah. I thought so. Hmm. There's got to be something better than pushing this at... Oh, they're playing right side king? In this economy? Okay. Well, we'll see how this plays out. Since the rook is blocked, I'm taking this opportunity here. So they might have to raise the gold forward, maybe blocking. What? Okay, that makes a pretty direct threat that I do need to respond to. Um, yeah, they're trying to move the rook in over here in response to my trickery. Um, so I've achieved getting them to lift their rook and draw it closer, and that could make it a target. Probably won't, but it could. Um, I'm still opposed to opening this diagonal. Maybe I shouldn't be. Here goes nothing. So my rook has a clear line of sight to this pawn. If this rook moves away, I might be able to invade this corner. Um,
7分
I am so confused. Okay, we'll take this. Plug this diagonal. I do have a threat of bishop drop and rook takes pawn, but it's not worth it. But the more the shapes change, the more that might eventually be worth doing. Um, I'm debating, do I build Yagra or not? Seems risky to build. But without risk, there's no reward. Wait, if I do this bishop drop, there's not quite enough things hanging at the moment. The bishop drop does not win.
5
Welcome.
分
I think this is reasonable here. I don't know why, but like nothing else looks good. That's a mistake. That's another mistake. Oh, wow. Pawn drop is surprisingly menacing. Um, Pawn drop, pawn takes, rook drop, bishop drop, lance drop, king up. Alright, so we have to start with lance drop. But the king retreats. Nope, thy mate. Alright, so we start with lance drop here. There's no perfect defense to it. They have to drop a pawn. Then I can continue on the edge here, thereby forcing pawn takes. And now the rook has room to maneuver. And that's the game. There's no way this king survives this attack. So today's Proverbs, without a pawn in hand, the game is lost. But they've got a pawn in hand. There's so the reverse of this is not true. Having a pawn in hand does not save every game. It's just without a pawn in hand, you can't save a game.
3分。
So I escape this rook. This bishop is confined. Um,
2分30秒。
now we go back. I think this forces another bishop drop. Maybe I'm giving my rook here. I'm not sure. Rook takes pawn was probably cleaner. Oh wait, they can't pursue my rook further if I retreat here. This is okay. They can pawn drop, but yeah, they cannot pursue... I'm sorry, they could pawn drop in the corner. That is legal. It's pretty reasonable. Yeah, they're fighting back. It's a good fight.
2分。
Alright, I have to give the dragon. Might as well get the good bishop off the board.
1分30秒。
That's precarious too, because my bishop is trapped. But I wanted the king. There wasn't a different way to get the king.
1分
Sharp, sharp stuff. How incredibly sharp this is. So there's a mate threat. King takes, I think, is the only way out. But for how long? I have to remind myself pawn drop mate is not legal in Shogi. This isn't Bug House or Crazy House. I thought I had it, but I forgot that's not legal here. I could pawn drop and then pawn push mate. Takes 2 turns. I could drop the lance in between. Could move this over. I could move the bishop closer and bishop here. It's probably the real way to do it. They could drop a rook to guard this square. That's fine. I could drop the lance to guard the file. I don't have a mate. I could drop the knight, and then silver takes next. That's not... No, it's not enough. Could drop the knight and bring up the rook. Could bring up the rook first and then drop the knight. Probably they'll move the gold. No, that's not enough.
!30 秒
Thanks for game. Woo! Alright. Well, that was exciting. Got lucky a few games in a row. We'll take it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.